guys seen me pull the V6 out of this and scrap it. Now we have Project Heart Attack's motor still here. Different transmission, and I built a small transmission dust shield. We'll see how that works out, but pretty much I'm just about ready to drop this in. This shield does have to come off for me to hook up my shifter cable and hook up my transmission lines and get a different fitting. But other than that, it's pretty much there. We're just going to lower it down a bit and see how she goes. These motors can come out the top, but I seriously think it's a lot easier if you take them out the bottom. I figured I'd try both ways, see which way is better, and honestly, I think out the bottom is 100 times better. That easy. Well, it's not as easy as I just made it. There's a lot of things you got to do to make a 4-cylinder fit into a V6 car. Some of the things you got to do to make a 4-cylinder fit into a V6 is change all the motor mounts. I think you can keep the transmission mount, but honestly I just swap it over from the 4 cylinders anyway. So you got the front mount, the back mount, the transmission mount, all have to be, even this top mount, all has to be off a 4-cylinder. Second thing is you need to change the power steering lines. Usually I change the steering rack, but because of how I brought the motor in from the top this time, I just changed the power steering lines, which I actually found a lot more difficult than just changing the whole rack. Next, you have to put 4-cylinder spindles into this. So this right here, this motor is a newer motor, and I actually both running newer axles in it now, so we're going to put 97 to 99 spindles inside of this. The next thing you got to do is change out how your vacuum boost works, where all the lines run from the 4-cylinder to the V6. That's different. You got to put 4-cylinder axles into this. You got to put a 4-cylinder computer into it. You can keep the V6 struts, and I find the V6 struts also give this car a little bit of extra of a lift, but other than that, it's not too much work to put a 4-cylinder into a V6. You can easily do it at home. An engine crane, you can easily swap these things out, no problem. Well guys, we've been working on this car. We got the frame cut off. We're getting it ready for the bumper. Now, I've come up with my own name for this. Usually I ask you guys a lot of input on my names, but I think this one I had to come up with a name with. We took this motor out of a 4-door Camry that was, I guess you're going to call it gray, and it was an old body. And we put this motor back into a 4-door Camry that's gray, that's an old body. So I figured this thing would be Heart Attack 2.0. I think that fits. But we're going to go with a much better bumper on Heart Attack than what we did last time. I believe last bumper on this was the rear bumper off a 2007 Chevy. It's like the Venture van. I think it's called the Equinox or something. Not the Equinox, but it's something like that. Outlander, Uplander, maybe. Anyway, it turned out to be junk and it wrecked my frame rails. So we're going to put a much better bumper on it, and we're allowed this bumper with this company. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the hoist to help install it. So let's go get this bumper. Now this is a full-size GM bumper that's steel back, and it's 80s and newer. So it's not the best bumper in the world, I know that. But this bumper falls within the rules that I'm allowed to do. So let's go get this bumper and see what this thing looks like. Now this is not the world's best bumper, but it's much better than what I had last year. See, the front of it's nice chrome, got some bolts, and then we switched to the back side. Steel backing, that's what we're after. Now, I haven't really measured this thing out to see how well it's going to fit, but let's try this on. I'm just going to set it up on the hoist. Swing the hoist in. We've already run into some complications. It's hitting the rad support bar here. Huh. So plans change quick in the demolition world. I was just going to put this bumper, which is a front bumper on the front of this, and I didn't really like it. It was into the bar here for the rad support. I found that it only welded and would be able to connect to the frame with about 2 inches of weld, and I didn't really like it. So I found this bumper, which is a rear bumper, which the mounting surface is actually a little bit bigger. So it will give us more spot to weld to, because I'm not allowed to add any extra plate to the front of this. I'm allowed to add 2 pieces of 6-inch long, 2-inch wide by 1/4-inch thick plate to help hold this on, and that's it. Let me get that phone. It's probably my wife. So like I was saying, out with the front bumper, in with the rear bumper. Now before I get 100 comments, you guys telling me that this is not the best bumper in the world, it's what I have, and it's what I'm allowed to run, so yay! Let's get a tack weld and a tack weld, and we'll see how nice this thing can look. Well, it's on there. Let's take a look to see how this thing looks. So the rules state the bumper can't be no wider than tires. I'm going to put a different offset of tires on this. That will fix that up. Then I can bend the ends in, which will also help make it so it won't get hung up as easily. This looks like a pretty good bumper. Just put 2 small tacks to help hold it. Now as you can see, I can get a good weld all the way across the top, fill this gap, all the way down the side, all the way down this side. I can get a lot of welds, same as over here, all the way down the side. This bumper is not going to come off, and then if you take a look, it's not like the other bumper. It's up tight, but it's not interfering with that quite a bit. So let's get this bumper welded on, and then we'll add our plates. We got the bumper welded on. We got the car picked up just so we can get a better look at it. But got the bumper welded on. Now what we have is these 2x6 plates. I'm gonna put these 2x6 plates on here like this. I'm just gonna clean all this crap off. We'll go to this side. Nope, fans on that side. Though I know you guys hate the sound of windy videos, because I do too. Clean up the frame a bit. We'll put a wire wheel in here and clean this up real good. But we just want this. We want about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the bumper, and the rest onto the frame to help the frame from stop twisting. Now, right here is your main supports on your frame, so I'm just going to put this over top of the main supports, and then right into the middle like that. And that's how that's going to go. And then we're going to do the same on the side, except it's going to come along the edge of the bumper, in so 2 inches in, and then 4 inches back. Give us a total of 6 inches. So let's get all this stuff cleaned off, and then we'll start welding this on here. Put the hood back on to see how this thing would look, but my god, does that bumper look good or what, guys? Oh, pretty much matches perfectly with the edge of the tires. Got the ends folded in. I'm not allowed to weld those, so before you guys tell me to weld those, I'm not allowed. Got nice plates helping us hold it on there. We're only allowed 2 plates, 6 inches long by 2 inches wide. So that's what I got. I got a piece of 2x6 and a piece of angle that's 2x4. So it's all welded on there as best as I can within my rules. I think this bumper is going to look great on the front of this car. Right there, I'd like to put "hit me" on that. But, I don't know. Fits, it sits, right guys and girls? So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.